Hey everybody, welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Time for another movie review. Tonight's movie, Love, Wedding, Repeat. Sorry, I didn't even look it up on IMDb. I will look that up later to see what the rating is on IMDb. But evidently this is about a wedding that happens in Rome, and some sedatives happen for unwanted guests, but people change their seats, so the wrong people get hit with the sedative, I think, and it causes a bunch of mayhem and mix-up and stuff like that. It stars Olivia Munn and Sam Claflin. They're the two people I know. I don't know anybody else. But the one thing that I found interesting, it says multiple endings. So that's kind of fun. We'll see. I'll get into it here a little bit. I don't even know. Oh, it's an hour and 40 minutes. It's on Netflix. It's free. I'm just running through with all this Netflix stuff. So let me get into it, find out what it's really about, and then ultimately let you know if it's worth watching. Stick around. Hey everybody, I want to do a quick check-in here. We're watching Love, Wedding, Repeat. We're at the 52-minute, 40-second mark. And one of the things I promised you was the IMDb rating is 5.5. So, pretty low expectations on this one. But I did laugh out loud a couple of times. Olivia Munn, you know, her character, her situation is... The guy she's talking to is funny, I think. Lester, I think his name is. Whatever. But I jumped the gun on that one. So Olivia Munn and the other character met at some point in Rome, and then they separated. Like a one-night thing, and they've never seen each other since. And his sister is having a wedding in Rome, so everybody's coming back years later. I think 3 years, something like that. So he is meeting Olivia Munn's character again after 3 years, and they haven't seen each other since one magical night, right? So there's that love interest piece there. And then also, it's just like a comedy of errors. His sister, who's getting married, has a guy show up that she doesn't want there, who's going to try and ruin the wedding. So she's asking her brother to make sure this guy doesn't ruin the wedding, kind of thing. Meanwhile, he's trying to rekindle his relationship with Olivia Munn. Other people are also trying to get after her, one of them being Lester. That's where the funny part comes. And that's where the drugging part comes in. They put a sedative, tries to put it in the guy's drink. Not everything goes right, so you can see the comedy of errors that can just come from this, and that's what we're seeing here. And sometimes I'm giggling. Sometimes though you get that cringe. It's like, oh, you feel so bad on what's going on. I don't even want to watch it. That kind of thing. So they're two different. But I smiled and laughed once or twice. So it's okay. It's not 5.5 for me right now. It's a little bit above that. I'm really interested to see what this multiple endings are, and hopefully it still kind of makes me laugh every now and again. But I'll keep going here. I think you have a better idea of what the synopsis is. Hopefully I didn't go off track too much. If I did, I apologize, but you're watching it for the laughs anyway, right? So let me get back into it, and I'll let you know if it's worth watching at the end, alright? Stick around. Hey everybody, we're at the credits of Love, Wedding, Repeat, and it didn't pan out the way I had hoped. I didn't get a lot more laughs in the second half of the film. The multiple endings was pretty much a disappointment. So basically, up until about, I would say, 59 minutes into an hour into the film, that's when the first ending happens. So, and it's going along the lines of what you've seen for the last hour. And it's not a spoiler alert, but I'll tell you, they had the nameplates on the cards, and when he spikes the guy's drink, they change the nameplates, right? And the whole theory of this is, serendipity and chances, and certain things, just fate kind of stuff, and that based on where somebody sits at the table can change the whole outlook of everything. Even though there's drugs involved. But as I mentioned, he might not find the right guy. And so there's 8 people at this table, so they kind of quickly show you what could happen in all 8 instances. And in the one, and a lot of it didn't make sense. You know what I mean? Like they show how the movie went when the sleeping juice, if you will, ends up with one person. That's the way the movie went, and then it comes back and says, okay, what if it was this person? And it, like, I don't know, didn't. And then when it hits the person it's supposed to hit, that's when it should all work out. But it was odd that they didn't make it like that. It just got really weird, and it was really quick. It wasn't like in depth. So whatever. So I'm sorry. I know I'm losing you here, but I was just saying. Let me summarize with the multiple endings was a disappointment. They had 2 endings, which was the first one you saw, and on the final one that you saw. And then, but they had a bunch of little stuff in them, which I wouldn't even call endings. It was just, fast speed, you can't even hear people talk kind of stuff, and just imagery. So don't even count those. So then you come to what really happens, and that was a disappointment to me. I don't know. I'm sure they had a lot of different ways it could have went. I don't like the way that it went. I think I don't know. I applaud the creativity of doing that and creating multiple endings, because you could have just done this film front to back and called it a day. But I think they still messed it up when they added the multiple endings. I think they could have done a better job. They could, and you don't want to overdo it, but you could play out 3 or 4 of them to critical parts of the movie. So you don't have to go all the way to the end. You just go to a certain part. You go up to okay, here's where the changes happen, and here's the end, and what becomes of it. Nobody wants that one. All right, let's do it again, and do it like that. Play 3 or 4 of them out, or something like that, and then play the final one out. Not just the way they did it. I'm disappointed in that. Anyway, so that's my criticism on the way that the plot of the film, the humor. Really didn't, like I said, it didn't continue. There was only a little bit when Olivia Munn was talking to that Lester guy. That's when I laughed the most. Other than that, none of the other characters were funny. I mean, I like Sam Claflin. He was pretty good, and Olivia was pretty good in the first story, in the first hour. After that, not anymore. But every other character, I just didn't like. The maid of honor, which was Brian. The bride herself, the unwanted guest, whatever. Lester, alright, he might have been alright. But other than that, I didn't really care too much for all the characters. So, that's what I got. That's what I got. Watch it for 45 minutes, laugh a little bit, and then you don't have to worry about it. No, but, I mean, check it out if you want to see it. There's nothing else on, but I am probably at a 5 for it. 5.5 is what IMDb. I'll probably go with a 5. I think it could have been, I want to give it a little bit higher because they tried something new, but they didn't do it well enough. So I'm going to stick with the 5. Alright, I'm rambling on. I'm going to change the ending of this and just end it now. No, just kidding. Alright, if you do watch it, drop me some comments. Let me know what you think. Love to hear your thoughts. And thanks for tuning in. Kimmel's Irish Pub.
Thank you.